Tribulation is a 7-year period of immense suffering, disaster, calamity, judgment, and the wrath of God. Now, if you read the verses with me, I put them in your notes. Matthew 24, you just listen also. Matthew 24, these are the references of the Bible that we have on the Great Tribulation. Matthew 24, verse 21. For then there shall be great tribulation. This is Jesus speaking. Such as has now been since the beginning of the world until this time. No, never ever shall, no, nor shall ever be. Daniel 12:1. At that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince who stands watch over the sons of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, everyone who was found written in the book. Revelation 3:10. Because you have kept my commands to persevere, I will also keep you from the hour of trial, which shall come upon the whole world, to test those who are on the earth. Jeremiah 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. And it shall be the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Now these are just some references. These are not all the references. These are just some references that mention this period, the Great Tribulation. Now if you take a quick glance at those verses, I see at least 4 themes that we could bring, that one or more verses bring together. Can anybody see a theme, one thing that more than one verse mentions? I'll give you one. I see the scope of it. You see the word in Matthew says, from the beginning of the world. And the one it says in Daniel says, even since there was a nation. The one in Revelation 3:10 it says, I will also keep you from the hour of trial which shall come upon the whole world. So this gives us the scope of the tribulation. It's going to engulf the whole world. Understand? Not just one nation, not just one region, but the whole world is going to go through the Great Tribulation. What's another one that we see? It says, you see it says, it's compared to like no other time in history. You read such phrases as, such as now has been, such as never was, the day, so that there is none like it. So this period is going to be like no other period that we have known. You understand? It's going to cover the whole world, and it's going to be like one that we have never known, that the world has not known. It's an amazing statement. It's an amazing thing just to put that in context, what that means. The Great Tribulation in this 7-year period. The world has never seen things like this that's going to be happening on that scale. What's another word? I give you this one word, it appears twice. Can anyone see that word? Yes.
Trouble.
Trouble. The word trouble appears twice in these references. And the word trouble, the word in Hebrew, because both references are in the Hebrew scriptures, is tasra, means distress. Great distress upon the earth will happen during the Great Tribulation. And lastly, there's one more particular reference that one of the more than one verse has. One particular, I'll give you a hint, people group is mentioned. Can anybody see that? One particular people group.
Sons of your people.
Jacob. Yes, Jacob. Read the one in Daniel 12:1 with me, where it says, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time. And at that time, your people shall be... Who's Daniel's people? Exactly. Israel. Read the one in Jeremiah 30, it says, and it's called Jacob's trouble. Jacob is Israel. Israel is Jacob. So this brings the theme here that the Jewish people will be prominent. Their role in this period will be very prominent in this 7-year tribulation. What are other names of this period? It is called the day of wrath, the day of the Lord's vengeance, the hour of judgment, the day of the Lord. And there's many names, many references. These are just some. This is not an exhaustive list. But think about it. The day of wrath, the day of the Lord's vengeance, the hour of judgment, the day of the Lord. But I want to look into the one that Jesus said. The one he said, and there shall be great tribulation. And I want to break that phrase down. It says, the word tribulation, probably won't pronounce the word in Greek right, but it's telephis or something like that. I'm not interested in pronouncing it correctly, but just what the meaning is. And it means to crush, press, compress, squeeze. And it symbolically it means grievous affliction and distress. We saw the word trouble means distress. Here, the word tribulation symbolically means distress. And this is what this 7-year period is going to characterize these words. But he said great tribulation, right? Mm-hmm. So the word great is megas in the Greek. And if you see in your notes, there's a little number there. Those are the Strong's number reference. So if you want to go back and look at the word in the Greek, that's the Strong's Concordance. Those who know about Strong's Concordance, that's the number. You could look it up. And that word means great, loud. Interesting that it means loud. This word has many applications. Just like the word we use have, the word great has many applications. But it means intensity, powerful, and mighty. And now when I read that, when I think about that, what does that mean? What does that, to me, think about it? It's going to be powerful, mighty tribulation. But what can it other mean? That acts of God. And that's what we're going to be. The Great Tribulation will be marked by acts of God. Supernatural that only God can do. Earthquakes, hurricanes, all these things. Acts of God. Powerful. Because God is powerful. God is mighty. And if you read with me, Revelation 5, if you have your Bible, if you don't, just listen. Revelation chapter 5, verse 1. And I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll written inside. And on the throne a scroll written inside, and on the back sealed with 7 seals. Then I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the scroll and to loose its seals? And no one in heaven or on the earth or under the earth was able to open the scroll or to look at it. So I wept much, because no one was found worthy to open and read the scroll or to look at it. But one of the elders said to me, do not weep, because the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the scroll and to loose its 7 seals. And I looked, and behold, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 living creatures, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, as though it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent into all the earth. And he came and took the scroll out of the right hand of him who sat on the throne. Wow, what an amazing picture. What an amazing revelation that we have here. And this is what is important to understand, and I want to understand what God is doing through this tribulation. And it's important that we understand the heart of God during this period. It's going to be a time of great disaster and suffering. But we want to understand what God's heart is. And the key is found in the book. The word book that he says there. Now, most translations say book, but it's really the Greek word is biblios, which also could be translated as scroll. And you read Revelation 6:14, the same word is used, and it says scroll. Now, why is that important? Because this scroll has 7 seals, right? So we need to understand why there's a particular kind of scroll that it is. And it is the deed of the earth, the deed of purchase. Like when you enter a contract. And how do we know this? How do we know this? We just don't want to say things and not have nothing to back it up. We know this because we don't have to turn there, but in Jeremiah 32, God tells Jeremiah to go buy a field as a prophetic act that he will bring them back from captivity. So God tells Jeremiah, go buy this field because you have the right to redeem this field. And he goes and he pays the silver and buys this field. And he's given 2 things. He's given a scroll that is open and the other one that he signs and he seals. And what is that? That is the deed of purchase for this field that is sealed. And in the same picture we have here is that seal. It's a scroll. It's the deed of purchase for the earth. That's why no one can open it. No one. can even look at it. No one was worthy, it says. No one was worthy, but except one person. Whereas Jeremiah, he paid the price for that field with silver. But Jesus paid the price with what? His blood. He paid it with his blood. Read that verse. Look at the one at 9. Verse 9. 5:9. And they sang a song saying, "You are worthy to take the scroll and open its seals, for you were slain, and you have redeemed us," or purchased us. Wow. You have purchased us to God by your blood. By your blood. And out of every tribe and tongue and people and nation. That's why Jesus can open that scroll that is sealed. So it is a redeeming work that God is doing in this 7-year tribulation. It is God redeeming the earth back to him. It says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof.